Naveen Jindal is now joining us. Naveen, thank you so much for being with us. We were hearing some of the young people singing, reciting a poem from Sherwood College earlier in the day. Number of school children have joined in. And this particular campaign to make India clean is something that perhaps is a long overdue. I remember you ran a campaign a long time back about the right to fly the national flag. But once India becomes really clean in every sense of the word, you'll feel that complete sense of pride, which sometimes you don't when you come across piles of garbage or filth or kachada lying on the streets. You're not often feeling that sense of national pride, and this is something which I think is long overdue.
Yeah, sure, Vikram. Good evening, Mr. Bachchan, and it's lovely to be here on this program, and I'm really glad that NDTV has taken up this issue of Clean India, and I think that's most important, and I appreciate the efforts of the government to announce 2nd October, Mahatma Gandhi's birth anniversary as a SWACHHTA DIWAS, and I think it's every individual, every citizen's responsibility to make India clean and green.
So, Naveen, just wanted to ask you, from various points of view. Now, we are seeing, by the way, the Aarti taking place at Varanasi even as we speak. So, during the course of the day, 2 or 3 things we've tried, and I want to know how you, and both as a politician and as an industrialist, can do to help. So, number one is the concept of finding 10, 15 iconic locations and really trying to clean them up, spread the message of cleanliness everywhere, get corporates involved, and also, Amit ji has been saying from the morning, every individual should clean up 10 yards around them, mere 10 gaz, and that's actually been trending on Twitter. Mere 10 gaz agar aap saaf karenge to pura desh swachh ho jayega. In what way do you think you, other politicians and industrialists can help in all of this?
See, firstly, I think, Vikram, all these ideas are great. We all need to do whatever ideas I have, I need to implement. Whatever ideas you have, you need to implement them. But I think most important to me is that keeping your own surroundings clean. We as Indians, we keep ourselves clean, our own homes clean, but our surroundings are always dirty. So if everyone makes it a point, so just to keep his own house or office and its surroundings clean, even outside the house, we'll be a clean country. And I think for that also we need to take strict measures like what Singapore does. That means not only who throws dirt, but if you are around dirt, if you have dirt around you, you should also be fined, So then when I see somebody doing it in front of me, I will stop them. So many times I have seen that people in front of me in a car or on a red light, they just open the window and throw something out of the window, even empty bottles or something. And then I often, I have gone myself also and requested them, and then they pick it up. Or I send somebody to tell them, look, you have, I think by mistake thrown something. So I think if we stop people who create mess, I think that's also very important, and the laws also have, because we Indians, we do follow the laws. So if there are laws to stop people from messing around, I think that would really help. And something which is practiced internationally, that if you do not clean outside your homes, then they send somebody from the municipality and then you are fined. So that's very important also. That as a rule, as a law, you have to keep your surroundings clean. And then if this is the rule and law, then I think we will be a clean country.
Yeah, we've been talking the whole day on all these issues that you brought up, Naveen ji. And really so impressed by the fact that almost all of you have had similar sentiments. Whether it's talk about Singapore, whether it's talk about everyone wanting to keep their own surroundings clean. And some of the things that we really wanted to harp upon is that, some of our iconic locations in the country are so unclean. And they are the ones that attract the maximum number of tourists and people and have footfalls. I think for tourists, they need to be going back with a good impression. If the place that we pray, that we hold to great divinity, they are clean, but when we come out of there, we get into an unclean atmosphere. I don't know, this doesn't gel very well. So, as a person who's prominent in the corporate world, what do you think that the corporates can do to instill? You did a wonderful job in fighting in the Supreme Court about the national flag. And I have to tell you that It was only after your victory that I now fly the national flag on top of my house with great pride. And everywhere that I live, I make sure that the flag flies. And I want to say through this medium that, this is a lot more we should do. You should be proud of the fact that you have your national flag flying on top of your house. So if there are people like you who are willing to fight for a cause of the national flag, surely there is some idea in your mind where you feel you can do something about Swachh Bharat.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and you have always inspired me, and you have always encouraged me. Even for the national flag, you have always been very, very encouraging. So I completely agree that sometimes all these iconic places where tourists visit, they may be clean, but the surroundings are pretty dirty. And so it's like, the corporates do play a role, they can play a role. But I think most important is whoever is assigned to do those roles. Today also there are people assigned, there are municipalities, there are people whose role it is to clean those places, but are they playing their role? So we have to ensure that there has to be accountability. So if there is accountability, the people who are supposed to do a certain thing, they must do that. And also people who create litter. So because until and unless we stop creating litter, things are not going to improve. You go to any army cantonment. I have been to many army cantonments, and you'll see that the whole area is really very well organized. It's clean, it's green. So similarly, why can't the whole country be like that?
Yeah.
So corporates definitely can play a role, and people could sponsor different corporates could sponsor different places, so that they completely take over that facility, and whatever somebody was spending money there, that money is not spent there, and that money is spent somewhere else with accountability. So it's a great idea, sir, and I think definitely there will be many corporates who would be very keen to take up such places,
right,
and maintain those places. And I don't think this is being practiced very much. It's a great idea which must be practiced.
Yeah, Naveenji, I'm happy that you brought up the thought about visiting cantonments, army cantonments, and finding them absolutely spick and span and clean. It comes from discipline. I believe that comes from discipline. It's a kind of discipline that the army and the armed forces inculcate into every youngster that wants to join the forces. And it is that temperament that carries through in everything that they do. Whether it is fighting a war, whether it is maintaining their own homes, it's that discipline that is inculcated. And I think that is what we need to tell our youth, that if you have the right discipline, then you will obey the laws that are made for you. There are laws, as you rightly say, but it's just that nobody wants to adhere to them. And if we have that kind of discipline where, yes, you need to regulate how the traffic moves, what you want to do about cleanliness, so many other factors. Once that discipline comes in, once that civic sense is put into our minds, I'm sure that we'll be a much better nation.
Right, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. We're going to slip into a break, Naveen. Yeah, just quick last word from you, Naveen, then we have to head in for a break. You were saying something, Naveen?
No, I was saying you said the right word, and that's civic sense. Civic sense is so important. So if as children we are taught civic sense, that we keep, along with keeping ourselves clean, we keep also our surroundings clean. And also, sir, we blow so much of horn. All our cities you go to, if you're shocked by the sound of horn, that's something, most people who own cars or who sit in cars, they're all affluent people, they are educated people. When we go abroad, we hardly listen to horns. If something is in our hands, and it can change within probably 6 months all over the country.
We'll need to do a separate
all this noise
campaign.
Pollution created by blowing extra horns can be stopped.